Hey guys, so welcome back to another solo episode. Basically on this episode I'll be asking for your advice and your help, really. Nothing to show off. But so this is the 20 panels array I have on my second house with the MPP solar charge controller inverter. So before the last video that wasn't there, so that's the Midnight 150. That's not currently hooked up to any solar panel yet. Initially I was telling you guys about that I may remove the 4 panels, actually not remove but rewire the 4 panels that I have for the on the side of the house that I used to have for the solar water heater, directly into the solar water heaters. Initially what I was going to plan to do is take those 4 panels and then add it into the Midnight Classic 150 here, and then just have it charge my battery bank, and then use this 2 inverter to power the water heater at 240 volt AC instead. So pretty much switching the PV directly to water heater to the AC stuff again. But I think I have decided against that. So the reason being is that it will be okay if the water heater element were to be running on 240, which is 4,500 watts, to be running on the 2 inverter here already, which is 10,000 watts. Then the big 3-ton air conditioner comes on, then the mini split comes on. I think that would be okay. However, if it's the other way around, let's say that actually I think I set that backward. So if there was no low on this 2 inverter, the air conditioner comes on first, the 2 big air conditioner comes on first, then the water heater comes on. That's fine. But if it's the other way around, I already have 45 or 5,000 watts running on this 2 inverter for the water heater, then the big air conditioner comes on. That's going to be a problem because it will definitely going to overload the 2 inverter here because of the surge. The big inrush of the air conditioner comes on while the water heater is running. So I don't think that's going to work out. That's going to be bad for the inverter. So I think my last option would be, now the reason why I added that Midnight there is because I like the whiz-bang shunt. The whiz-bang Junior that I have down here inside that box, I'm not sure if you can see, but it's in that box. It's the Midnight Shunt and the Midnight Junior. That will let me know how much it's going in and out of the battery. And then with the Midnight, you see that Ethernet wireless bridge that I have there. That will allow me to sync this Midnight with my account, with my Midnight monitoring account over the internet with a browser, and it will let me see this system with my other house system, what's going in and out and stuff like that, the battery voltage and so on. That's why I add in that Midnight 150. However, I don't think that's going to work out because my initial plan was still leaving the panels, the 4 panel on the side to power the water heater, and then maybe have it on a 3-position switch that I can switch when the water heater is full. Or it's hot enough, and then it's going to switch back the excess power going to the battery bank, blah blah blah, all that stuff. So it's very complicated now. However, I think that's just going to be too much work and too complicated. So I think my only real solution now is to add another charge inverter, charge controller and inverter. The reason being is I know that in the summertime, like right now, I have enough power to power the air conditioner for the big one and then the mini split in the garage. But come winter coming, in the winter time, obviously no air conditioner is needed. I was thinking, what am I going to do with all that power coming from that 20 panels that I have up there? So, and then I don't have any 110 source, so those 2 inverter here are all 220, and then I don't have any 120 or 110 to power any of the other stuff in the house. So I have 2 refrigerator, a freezer and a fridge separately in this room. They're both running on 110. So I think the feasible thing to do would to get another inverter and charge controller take out the midnight, put that into this spot, hopefully something that can fit. So I think I have like maybe 12 inches across and then 16 inches vertically. So I was thinking to remove the midnight, put that in, hook the 4 panels, that's for the water heater, into that new inverter charge controller, and then just charge into the battery bank, and then use that 120 and then feed that into the water heater. So being it's on 120 water heater, it will just, you know, pull the same as before, which is, you know, 1100 watts on that 4500 watts element. That way I can power my water heater, and then I can use that 110 that's coming out of that inverter as well to power my my fridge. Here's the order though. It's a very tall order. I understand that, but it must have. I haven't been able to find one yet. The only one that I've found so far is the MPP solar inverter charge controller. That's a 1648 MSX, and that's the only one that I've seen so far that can do a 48 volt system, and it's a charge controller and an inverter, and it's 120 volts output AC. But there's a few requirements that I need for my system. You have to understand my system is using 16 cells lithium ion, which means that the maximum voltage that it needs to handle is 64 volts. So I need an inverter and charge controller that can handle up to 64 volts, and that would cut off at, you know, 57 or 58 volts, shuts off, and it need to output 120 volt per sine wave, of course. So that's the hard part. I know the MPP make a few. Oh, the last part would be at least, you know, 2000 watts. I would prefer 2500 watts. That way that the water heater is pulling about, you know, 1100 watts, and then I'll have like another 1000 watts for the fridge and any other extra thing that I want to plug in. But the MPP 1648 MSX only could do 1600 watts continuous. So that's a dilemma. So the first thing is, of course, 64 volt max input, battery inputs, and then it have to be you know, at least hopefully 2000 watts, and then it have to be a charge controller and an inverter, just like the MPP here. So I don't know if any of you guys know there's any other option out there other than that 1648 MSX one. I know there's probably is a lot of option out there. So I just want to see if anybody know anything that you can recommend to me so that I can take a look at it to see if it can fit my need. So pretty much, you know, 64 volts input, 120 volt VAC output, and then around 2000 watt charge controller and inverter together. So hopefully I'll replace that in, and then I can finally complete my system. And then I'll do another video. Obviously you can see I haven't had time to even bother making the panel that I was talking about, the dashboard displays and all that stuff. Anyway, currently the system's working so far. It's you know, it's 2 of the inverter with 20 panels, 290 watts panels. I think I'm getting about 30 to 35 kilowatts a day. It's definitely covering my big air conditioner in my garage. It's been saving me about $40 to $45 for the last for a month. So it saved me about $45 to $50 a month. However, you have to know that I added that's not counting the mini split in the garage that's running 9-10 hours a day, and then that's probably another 10 to 11 kilowatts a day. So that's probably another $15, $20 to add that in. So technically it's saving me probably about $65, $70 a month currently in the summertime. So that's pretty good considering I didn't spend much on the system. So anyway, like I said, I need your advice on this. If anybody know if there's any option for an inverter and charge controller with the spec that I've given, please let me know. Really appreciate it. As always, please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Thank you.